welcome back to the Rolling Girls. We have episode 6, Lightning Speed, and as always, I have Skyline.
Hello, everyone.
Yep, he's here, and we're going to talk about our five moments from episode 6. And I'm going to jump right into it with mine, starting with 5. There's a cute flashback at the beginning with Himiko and Tomoki's past together, and just seeing the younger versions of themselves was pretty interesting. And there's even a moment where there's kind of this bar after they got kidnapped by these other restaurant people. I would say maybe they're trannies or whatever, but it's kind of a weird bar. But anyway, they kind of push these two together in a room, and they kind of have a chance to talk. And he says something that she's beautiful and looks right at her boobs. I was like, wow, real smooth, buddy.
Are you sure he was looking at her boobs, or was he looking at the koala?
Well, there's a shot of like the camera kind of pans down really quickly, like, and then it sits on there for a split second and goes away. He blushes. He talks about how beautiful she got, or how pretty she is now. It's like, well, it's fine. That was pretty funny and kind of cute at the same time. The beginning part, anyway, where they're, where they're on the roof and just kind of exchanging stones. It's pretty nice. So, what's your 5?
Very similar. That they exchange stones with each other. It's like, he had his for a while, and that was making him like a top racer, but he was getting bored with it. And so he gave it away to her so that she could excel. And all of a sudden, like out of the blue, out of the night sky, comes another stone that she claims and then gives to him.
Yeah.
So it's like, what did these stones have in mind when you get right down to it? And it's kind of cute. His was the star of the circuit. And even though he still maintained being the star of the circuit after that, and she named hers Sachipoko, which was a bit of an insult that her dad gave her when she failed to make one of the Sachihoko statues in the correct fashion. So I just thought that was kind of cute how that kind of changed up. And once again, we see that narrative of stones changing hands almost constantly.
Yeah, that's true. It was. And I kind of saw when she crafts, she has very high speed doing that too. So maybe that has an effect on her too. My number 4 would be, I guess, Chihaya. They find her in the restaurant, kind of chilly. She's frozen a little bit, and she's coughing. She's got a little cold. And she was about to tell him where she was asleep in. Like, she was pointing towards the refrigerator. I thought it was pretty funny that he found her. But, yeah, so, again, it begs the question of what really is she? Because last week, I know we didn't talk about it because I kind of forgot, that she turned into this octopus, squid, whatever you want to call her, hot dog ghost, whatever you want to call her. I mean, Highway was calling her a Pac-Man ghost. I'm like, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, what is she really? I mean, that's the question I want to know.
Well,
is she human?
well,
That's
she's
the
not
one thing.
entirely human.
Right.
She's not entirely human. We can say that. The rest of the characters have
No idea.
they have normal eyes. I just noticed that, and she has pink eyes. And you always got to beware of the pink eyes of the red-eyed characters and stuff like that. There might be something up with them, but I don't know. We are not going to know right now. Perhaps that's going to be part of her past that we explore in the future.
Well, then she has this animal-like instinct where animals are drawn to her. They're just naturally drawn to her. So it's like, what is this?
Except for that koala.
Right. Maybe some animals aren't drawn to her. But okay, what was your number 4?
Just kind of depended on when and where you watch the particular episode. I think if you're watching the official subs, and this is something we discussed last week with Motorcycle Dude, you just got to hear that rum thing with absolutely no subtitles. But if you go over to a particular fan sub, you'll notice that his speech was subtitled in Japanese characters and thus able to be translated into English. And he actually had full conversation there that the official streams fully left out. So thanks, official streams. Good job.
I like your little
so
thing here.
That's not really a top. Yeah, that's not really a top 5 moment, is it? That's like a negative moment. So yeah.
That's a 4.5 moment probably. It's in between like a moment and something else, but yeah, I see that. That's pretty funny. And jumping to mine.
I just wanted the opportunity. I just want the opportunity to shake my fist a little bit. There you go.
Right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And that's the pain we do with anime vloggers, where you have so many other ways of getting the video that sometimes you don't get the right one you want, and it can mess things up.
Oh yeah.
So. And my number 3 would be Miyamoto's Plays Dirty. first they challenged Tomoki to like a race, and like they're gonna broadcast on TV and everyone's gonna watch and everything. And then they kidnap him, forcing Dandy to actually participate in the race, which we learned later on that he actually was, the one that inspired Tomoki to race. But yeah, but still, it was Miyamoto was playing really dirty. I was like, that's kind of messed up. They're gonna challenge him and then kidnap him to make him look like he didn't accept the challenge. I'm like, wow, that's pretty screwed up. It's like doing a boxing match and kidnapping the other boxer and be like, well, he forfeited, I win.
Well, it was kind of like, I think it was kind of like, capturing a rook to get the king to come out and do something or something like that. So it's almost like a chess. It's something they had planned in there because of the past that both Tomoki and Dandy share.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's right. That's what makes sense what you said, that they take him out to bring out someone that they really want. So maybe they're after Dandy. They're not really after Tomoki at all. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What about your number 3?
Number 3 is Yukina getting lost actually proved kind of useful this time around because she was able to find Hime's backpack that she left behind up on that spot in the hill that overlooked the two cities and all that. So, we've seen her get lost, and they've all actually really proved somewhat useful. She's always eventually ends up where she's supposed to go. But in this particular instance, it proved useful to the plot, and it let it go on at the end there.
Yeah, that seems to be a common trait with characters that get lost easily. They end up in the same spot, or they end up in the right spot at the right time, just by coincidence, or just because the script allows it. I guess that happens a lot in some shows I watch.
I can see him plain as day. He turned into the piglet when you doused him with cold water. The character from Ranma One Half. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, Ryoga. He's the same. Yeah.
Ryoga, thank you. Wow, those are some old memories.
Yep. That's pretty good. My number 2 would be Himiko's dad, his speech, because we had I guess they brought the backpack in. He thought it was Himiko, so he starts giving this speech about, I guess, the soul is in the artisan, and you put your soul in the object you're creating. And all the girls, it just made me laugh, and it was kind of like one of those, touching moments where all the girls kind of like ran to him in the hospital and just started hugging him. Well, only one. You only saw one, but I guess he didn't realize he was just spilling his, soul out to everyone. And the girls were kind of moved and touched by it, and I guess it inspired them to try to make one. But yeah, it wasn't really working when they made their Sachihoko. It was kind of derpy, I would say. But yeah, it was a good moment for me. I thought it was pretty funny. And what was your number 2?
Number 2, kind of similar to one of yours, is that Dandy is more or less like Racer X. He was in his past, he was kind of mysterious. No one exactly knew who he was. I guess they just didn't think to catch his visor in the right light to be able to see his eyes. But then again, they're always closed, so you can't really tell. But also, he had kind of similar feelings to Tomiko about being the master of the race circuit. And how that kind of burned him out. There's no more challenges or anything like that, and how that kind of wears on a person, which is another similar theme that I think they're continuing to explore in the series. That being at the top of things is a bummer after a while.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could see that applies to celebrities in the real world. After making so many hit movies, they get tired of it. Like I would say Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. Being Iron Man for so long, he likes it, but it's a point where he's going to say, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. So it's like
eventually make another Sherlock Holmes film.
Right, and then pass the torch to someone else, and what they're doing here in this show. The stone eventually gets passed on because the original owner is just like, I don't want to do it anymore. I found something else.
Yep. It's my thing.
Which is fine.
It's my thing.
Right. Someone else can have it for once. Good. And now we get into number 1s. My final moment would be the final race at the end, and how over the top it was, because we had Tomoki kind of like, after he got free from being kidnapped, he jumps in the race, and the other guy uses missiles, blows his bike up, and Danny switches bikes with him, and ultimately at the end he's riding just a regular bike against a motorcycle. I just thought it was really amazing how crazy it got, and art style shifted to almost like a Gurren Lagann style, or maybe Redline if you saw that. Even Redline more at the end, because the bridge is like falling apart, and he's just giving it his all, and he's almost about to lose, and Oh, that was really cool. Just seeing how they animated all that was really good.
He was just cycling on thin air at that given point when you get right down to it, just getting by on nothing but gusto and determination.
Right. While the platform from the bottom was just falling apart, and you had to kind of turn your brain off and go anime logic, because that's what happens in anime.
Mm-hmm.
People float.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I thought it was a cool moment. And you had the music playing in the background and all this stuff going on at once, and really neat. So that was my number one. What about you?
Yeah, just going back to that was a really good soundtrack selection that they had for that particular moment. I can't wait for them to have a compilation of the covers and everything. My number one, instead of making Sachi Hoko, they make an orca for whatever reason. I mean, they tried really hard. And you think that they would have had, I mean, all of them were destroyed, but you think they would have had like a picture or something along those lines. So maybe something on a picture that Chiaya took on her camera that would have proved useful. How they made an orca when they had so many examples around them, I don't know, but they made an orca anyway. Yeah, that's just was one of those things about how how they tried their best and failed really, really dumb.
Right.
But instead, that gave Himiko and her dad the impetus to actually work together to be able to make the crown and glory Sachihako, which was the combination checkered flag tempura shrimp eating tiger fish.
Yeah, that was really cool how they did that and how they decorated the end with these big rockets. I'm like, okay, well, again, anime, and just shot it, and I guess force of the shot pushed the girls off their bikes and everything. It was pretty funny.
Pushed everyone off their bikes and all that.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
And I was gonna say something about that Shachihoko, which I was reading that actually I think it does translate into orca, so I guess maybe they're just highlighting that it does mean orca. So
oh, does it really?
yeah, they kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so
they're kind of right, but not really, because the design is more of I would think like a goldfish, in my opinion, but yeah, or a koi fish, I think.
Technically right, but conceptually wrong. Okay.
Right, yeah. It's like
I'll buy that.
You got the meaning right, just not the right design they're looking for. So, but that was pretty good. I like that. And now so I guess this arc is wrapped up, sort of. Maybe we'll have one more episode with these two characters, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see, because they kind of wrap it up in a nice package at the end. That the city is now back to peace, so now they can have racing and restaurants as a core theme of this city. Yeah, I think that's
that sounds like a great city to go to if you
right if you're into
yeah racing and restaurants.
I think Highway
Exactly.
would like that place. J-Ro would like that place because they're both into racing. And who doesn't like food? I mean,
We could just you and I could just go hang out at the restaurants when you get right down to it, because I mean, I figure both of us could probably get hit with a tempura shrimp and it'd be, what are we gonna do now, huh?
as long as we don't
What
get
are we
by
gonna
the transvestite ones.
I'm fairly tolerant when you get right down to it. I could probably deal with that for a brief period of time, or something like.
Yeah, that's true.
Perhaps I'll run into a fridge that contains my very own Chiaya.
Right, you never know. You just gotta check the fridges.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. So I think we covered everything in the episode. Is anything else you think we left out or want to talk about?
About the only thing. This is just a little bit of a niggle when you get right down to it. Just a little bit of a kvetching. This, out of the 3 arcs we've presented with so far, I thought this one was, and this is not an insult to it, it was probably like not as strong. I was going to say it was the weakest arc, but it just didn't feel like it finished up, or it had a middle as strong as the previous 2.
Yeah, it could.
Agree? Disagree?
I kind of am in the middle of that. I think it was a pretty good one just because we got this little love story between Himiko and Tomiko, but it's kind of like you said, not a lot to chew on, because I think it's almost needed another episode to get through. Maybe like a whole episode dedicated to a backstory, of why she left and all this and what she actually built out there, because they didn't really show all the craftsman stuff she's done besides the the 2 that she had in her bag. So I'm curious about that. But yeah, I feel it had a good kind of good story elements, but at the same time we didn't really get the full complete story between these 2 characters.
Yeah. It didn't feel like typically rushed, but it did, like you said, it felt like it was just missing a little bit of a couple of bits, a couple of little crunchy bits to make it feel like, it had everything going for it. But I take it back from being the weakest of the three, but not as strong as the other two.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was kind of
Still fun.
Yeah.
It's not strong.
It was fun, but it's like, I kind of want something a little more, but it's kind of like, they're gonna do what they gotta do for this. I think the biggest thing I really want right now is more on Chihaya, like, what she really is, and her mom, and what's this threat coming, more on that. But I assume, because since it's gonna be 12 episodes, I assume we won't get that till about maybe episode 10, of what she really is, maybe even 11. I don't want it to be revealed in episode 12 because that'd be kind of a lame way to do it, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Because they haven't really updated
you'll make that call?
Right, yeah. Around those episodes.
I'll make the call that they're going to drop a major hint next episode.
Okay.
And then leave it there, and then wait till about maybe episode 9 or 10. That's my call.
Right. Like they're giving us hints here and there, and then they reveal it. That way it's not, all at once, I guess.
Yep. So everyone in comments below, take my call and Fosh's call, and we'll do like a point spread.
Right. Well, I guess this is for episode 6. I guess we're done with this one, so I'll see you guys next week.
Later on, folks. Thank you.